Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Goth Mansion renovation, which is part of the Goth makeover battle that was run by Havana Sims, and it's similar to how we did the Blue Velvet renovation earlier, or last month, I should say. So the rules are up here on the screen, as is the list of all the talented simmers who are participating, and they will all have videos up of their makeovers too. And Havana Sims will be touring the renovations via Twitch on the same day that this video is being released, April 13th. So go check that out. It's going to be up, I think, at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you'll see the rules there, and we had to basically brighten up the house, keep the signature red, move Alexander's bedroom off of the third floor to somewhere else in the house, and there were things we could change, but we had to keep the shape of the house. So here's the starting point, and here is how it looks like from the outside afterwards. I used actually the same brick, but it's, instead of being that dark color, I made it red to stick with that signature red with the white accent. And the windows themselves are the same, except for that I changed them so that they were white again on the outside. So I just tried to lighten up and brighten up the look from the outside so it wasn't quite so dreary. I did not change much of the landscaping, even though we were able to. I concentrated more on the inside, but I did change this back porch area a little bit to make it a little bit more useful than what it was, and I'll probably show that a little later. And here again, I changed some of the furnishings outside, and I added some wind chimes. And one thing that I have noticed, and I noticed because I have play tested this, and Cassandra is gloomy, and I had her doing some painting, and I put some easels by those wind chimes, and she would get angry. And it reminded me that one of my Sims I had played with previously also had the gloomy trait, and she got angry from those wind chimes too. But generally I find the wind chimes are good because it means that they're in usually a better mood, and so they're more likely to have masterpieces, so that's why I actually like to place them. But it does not work very well for Cassandra, unfortunately, because she gets angry from them. So here's the upper floor, the third floor, which originally was Alexander's bedroom, poor kid, and I decided to add a door and make the area like usable so that they could go out and have sort of a roof patio, because there's not actually that much area outside. This isn't the biggest lot for such a big house, so I figured I'd claim the top. I don't actually renovate the upstairs at this point in time. I'm renovating the roof patio area. So they had a hot tub, there's a little garden area, there is obviously right here there's like a seating area with the little coffee table with the fire built into it that comes with City Living, as does that little rug, which is more like a painting in the ground. And then I did like a little yoga zen area over there, which of course with the seasons you're not necessarily going to use that if it's bad weather, but when I have a build file I don't have the seasons effects on, so this is fine. And I think this is the only area I removed the landscaping, and that's because I put a little garden in there. And Apache, because I always like Apache, because he's really good for helping your Sims learn the gardening skill if you befriend him. So I started here with the entranceway, and we were allowed to change the stairs, the type of stairs. I think we were allowed to change the heights too, but I had already built the whole house and renovated it before I realized that. It is tall, so it takes them a long time to go up and down the stairs, but it probably would change the look of the house quite a bit from the outside if it was changed. So what I did here mainly is you can see I brightened it. I used lighter wood tones. I used a white wood as opposed to whatever was there before. I changed all the floors to just be like a natural wood tone versus the dark gray that they were, which I sort of copied through the whole house. This does change a little bit from how I do it here, because I later on realized when I was playing it that Bella has a party animal aspiration, so she had a whim to have a bar, so I end up adding a bar. So in the final house, which you don't see in the speed build part, there's a bar in this space. I just sort of squeeze it in and extend the wall a little bit and put a bar there. But it'll be in the screenshots, just not in the build part. So here I changed the entrances to the living room. So instead of having one big one and two smaller ones, it became just sort of two biggish ones that weren't as big. And then I decided to make the whole entranceway white, much brighter than what it was before. I always like having mirrors at entranceways, just because, you know, when you're like kind of leaving the house, you want to like look and check that everything looks okay. And you know, they have things for your coats and stuff like that, which they didn't have before. So I changed the stairs that they had. That's all that was. Red. I probably actually have more red in the house in the end than they had in the beginning, but red is actually one of my favorite colors, so I quite commonly use it, and I actually have to, you know, use other colors, which I do to make things different, but it is often a default color I use. So I'm trying to think where that, I end up moving a chess table out to the porch out there. And because we needed to bring the bedroom down to this floor, the bathroom was like going out. So you'll see here, that's what it did. The one bathroom became 2 bathrooms because I end up changing the other bathroom into a bedroom. So, but this video was kind of long, so I cut out all the, cut it all out, but it's also a bit short. So that was the bathroom, and it becomes Alexander's room. And I got the idea that he is a cat lover, even though he isn't. So I used that bed from Cats and Dogs, and his room upstairs had a lot of blue in it. It was a darker blue, but so I stuck with the blue theme for his bedroom. So much as I used red for like pretty much all the rooms in the house, I did not for the 2 kids, because I thought they had colors that they had already kind of indicated was their preference, and so I used those colors instead. And one of the packs that we aren't allowed to use is kids' room stuff. So I struggled a bit here because I do use that a lot when I'm doing kids' rooms. Go figure. Especially the chair. There's a desk chair that comes with kids' room stuff that I usually like to use in kids' rooms. And in the version that's up on that gallery, I do actually have a void critter station, which won't be in the build in that that Havana looks at, because she doesn't have it, but he had a whim for it, so I just gave it to him. And there is a little void critter decor item, but that's Get Famous, so that's fine. So, and then the little cat poster, because like I said, in my mind, he's kind of like particularly a cat lover. I chose the dog calendar because it was the blue, so I went for the color versus the animal. And you know, I tend to put a lot of skill building objects in kids' rooms. That's just what I do when I build kids' rooms, because most of my kids tend to do all of the aspirations. So this space here, this landing, becomes a bedroom. It becomes a toddler bedroom because when I was playing with the family, I had Bella and Mortimer have another child. So when I was playing, she was pregnant, but when I finished playtesting it, I had already aged up their little girl, who was born in the game, to a toddler. So there's a little toddler with the family that I'll actually put my version of the family, because I gave them slight makeovers. It didn't really change anything. They had kept all their original clothes, but I gave them new outfits. And their daughter is Bianca. This room does change a little bit in the screenshots, because when I was playing it, I realized I hadn't put any pictures on the wall, and then when I tried to put pictures on the wall, I didn't actually like the wall covering to go with the pictures, so it's a little different. It's not a lot different, but it's a little different. So this here is Cassandra's room, which is sort of like a purple kind of concept. Purple to me was like purple pink, so I picked this, which had the purple and the fuchsia in it, and then I continued that theme of the color, but it's like a brighter purple and pink than what she originally had. But she did have purple, so I sort of stuck with that kind of theme a little bit. And this changes. I think I struggled a bit with I'm trying to think what I ended up doing with it. And I put a closet, because I do like to have closets. Alexander didn't get a closet, but there wasn't really a lot of room in his room for a closet, I have to say, because it was a smaller room. And even though I ended up borrowing from the parents' bedroom to do the bathrooms, their room is still pretty big size, so they had room for a closet too. So she had a desk, so I gave her a desk again, but I gave her like the glass. It's actually a table. I usually like to use that as a desk quite often, because it's nice, you can see through it and it's not dark. And I gave her that purple computer. She never had a computer. There were no computers in the house, so now she has a computer, and she has the tablet that originally she did have in the house. That was the only thing that was sort of technology in the house, was the tablet. But so she got that back, but she also got a computer, and there are more computers in the house when it was finished, all was said and done, because Mortimer's a writer, so he kind of needs a computer to be able to write his stories, otherwise it's not really very functional. And my idea was that I think she had the music lover aspiration. I've swapped it around quite a bit, but I think that's what she started with. She definitely has a creativity aspiration. And there was a piano and there was a really expensive violin in the house, which I sold and, replaced with a less expensive one. Though when I started the build, I just built from build mode and not actually going into the family. But later on, I went in another day to keep editing the build, but I accidentally went into play. And then after that, I started using the family money, which you can see is not doing that right now. So when I sold a lot of the expensive things, I didn't actually get the value back because so they end up with less money than what they started with. So I actually think I probably could have done this renovation with and given them they would have ended up with money back, would be my guess. But I'm guessing at that. But I was able to manage to let it do the rest of the renovation with the funds they had in the house when I did accidentally go in from play mode and then go into build mode. So here we are with Bella and Mortimer's bedroom, also very dark. I definitely kept the red there because, it's Bella's room, so I figured it was very appropriate to keep the red in there, but then I came back over there, put some lights over the vanity table. So, because my idea with her is she's kind of like a little bit girly, even though she really and wanted to do music and fashion a little bit and stuff like that. So she had the little vanity table for Cassandra, and I ended up giving a vanity table to Bella also because I figured that suited her to my mind. And then I think I do change that bed because when I wanted to try and put a picture on the wall, I didn't like the way it looked, but I did that later and not here. And the chairs are still the same, and I don't think I changed out the curtains. I actually struggled a lot with the curtains in the house, what to use where. And in like the kids' rooms, what I honestly would normally use a lot with the kids' rooms is their blinds that came with my first pet stuff, and I use those a lot, especially in kids' rooms. But again, that was one of the packs we couldn't use, so it took me a while to figure out what I was going to use for the bedrooms. And like I said, it's hard. The reds don't exactly match. I just did my best because that's just the way it is. But in real life, when you go and buy furniture and stuff, the reds don't, like the colors don't really match. Unless they're part of a set, they're not going to be the same. They're just going to be as close as you can get. So the room is still a pretty big size, I'd have to say, even though they did get some cut out. So there you see me taking that bed back. And then I got this bed, which is actually brighter. And then I tried to see if there was what I was hoping was that there was that version of the couch with some white, but there was not. But there was also nothing else that I liked better, so that's why I just left it as it was. And there's her vanity table with that little red chair. And then I realized I wanted to put a few more clutter things in Cassandra's room. So that was kind of why I sort of swapped back over there while I was doing this, because when I was doing this vanity table, it made me remember something. A little book stand over there, or a magazine rack for them to sit and read if they wanted to. And again, I added those vanity lights over the table just to give a little bit more light in that area, because I figure if you're actually going to be doing your makeup there, you would want more light. And so this is what becomes the smaller foyer or landing area upstairs, which I tried to lighten a lot because that was the goal. And but I kept the grandfather clock. I think that's the same one, but I think it wasn't white. I changed the coloring, and I wanted to put a mirror there, and so I had to make sure whatever I put there wasn't too tall. It wouldn't fit. I cut that out, but I was trying to figure out which pieces I could put of the flowers and stuff because some of them just wouldn't fit on there. I did do this build without the Move Objects cheat, so that when you place it, you don't actually have to worry about things not going properly. Or for the most part, I didn't use it. I don't know if I used it at all in this build. So there is a door going onto the patio, but instead of going from what used to be the bathroom in his Alexander's room, I put it off the hallway because I thought that seemed more appropriate than going off of his bedroom outside onto the patio. So this is the upstairs area, which I made the library, which was part of the goals to put a library in the house. It's sort of like an office/library, and I put the bookshelf there to sort of like give some privacy coming upstairs from the stairs. I often like to put 2 tables side to side so that, and then you can put a computer on either side so, 2 people can work sort of together, but, have their own space. They're not on the same desk. So this is where I put, there used to be a chess table in the living room downstairs, and I moved it out and put it into like the office area instead. So there's not a lot of bookshelves in here, but there's also a lot of windows, and I left the windows as they were just to keep it a bit brighter. And then I put that couch in that corner to make it sort of like a cozy little nook to read when you're in the library. You could go sit there. Of course, Sims have a mind of their own and they'll go read wherever they want. But that was the concept, that you grab a book and you go sit on the couch by the window in the library. That was sort of the thought I had. And I don't know if I do it here, but I do add a radio to the wall, because this is where you go write or do anything like that. And so I find the Sims, if you have a radio, they'll listen, and it means that their fun won't go down when they are reading. When they're writing. Reading is fun, writing is not. So this is the very dark kitchen that they had in the first place, and it didn't have red in it, but I decided, other than the red curtains, but I decided I would make it more red. And I have the red fridge and stove that comes with Parenthood, and then the tile, and just putting the lighter tile on the floor just brightens up the room so much. There's not even, the lights aren't that much. I did add lights because those lights are not base game. Well, they're base game lights that didn't come when the game came out. They came out afterwards. And when I did this build, the cupboards there are a bit high. Later on, when I was taking some screenshots, I realized they looked a bit high. So they are actually lower in the final build, but the idea is that I was wanting to put there, had a thing, if I put it all the way down, I wouldn't be able to put the microwave on the counter. I don't actually use microwaves in the game very much, because I find that the food doesn't come out very good quality, but I still figured it was good to put it in the house. And I was checking what color I was trying to get the same doors I used upstairs, or at least similar doors. I think they were different. And then I put laundry right off that area of the kitchen, because it's actually quite a big room. Like, the rooms on this main floor are quite large, because it's quite a big house, like I said, for the lot size. And there was little table with 2 chairs and 1 chair off to the side. Like, where does Cassandra, like, there were 4 people in the house, so I'm not sure why the kitchen didn't have actually place for all 4 people to eat. But I think, so there's this here. I like to do that because I like to put a lot of clutter off of the counters. So I find they can cut, and do stuff with the clutter. It just looks awkward, but I have had problems in the past where Sims won't cook or do whatever because there's clutter on the counter. So I've sort of gotten away from putting it on the counters because of that. I mean, obviously I have some things on the counter. I have a tea maker there. I have the coffee maker over on the other side, the one that comes with get together, I should say. And then I have all sorts of appliances. That's what I put on the counter instead of the other things. And then I did sneak in a smoke detector, because the house did not come with a smoke detector, but it did come with a thingy out the back, the fire prevention system, but you kind of need both of them for it to work. And, I added that board that comes with Parenthood to the kitchen and some clutter for mail. And they end up with a cat. Loki is the cat. So I put things for a cat to be in the house. So that's why there's the pet food bowl. And then obviously the garbage can, the nano trash can that I like very much. And you saw the beginning of the bathroom, and there's the ending. I made it a full bathroom as opposed to just a powder room, because with the room being so big, it's a lot better to have an actual proper bathroom on the main floor. The house being so tall and it taking a while to get up and down the stairs, if you're like on your way out and you've eaten your breakfast, it's easier to go jump in the shower and then go out of the house from there, instead of like having to go all the way upstairs to have a shower and then come back downstairs. So there was a piano in the sort of landing upstairs where I put the toddler bedroom. And where that piano I just put in here, there used to be a chess table, and I put the chess table, as you saw, up in the library on the main floor. And I stuck the piano there instead. So this room is, they have a TV, they have the game console that comes with City Living, so it's a lot more casual. So my idea was sort of that, Bella and Mortimer decided they had a conversation and they wanted to bring the house into the 21st century instead of like in the Gothic past that it was. Lighten it up and make it more family friendly, kid friendly. They were having another child. They didn't like that poor little Alexander was on the top floor, and since they had to make a room for the newest arrival, they brought him down to the second floor where the rest of the family was too. Now, while I was at it, I added a basement. It's a very small basement. It doesn't go all the way out. It's very tiny, but it has a spot that I put in another little bathroom, which is right there. And then I added a little exercise area because I always think of Bella as someone who does a lot of exercise because I often see her out at the gyms when my Sims go out to the gyms. I don't notice Mortimer so much, but I don't know if it's just that I just don't notice Mortimer. I'm not really sure. And then I put in that video station, which I also thought might be a good fit, and a flower arranging because there was a beehive upstairs, so it's good to have your Sims get to at least level 4 of flower arranging so that can help keep the bees happier. If you sent an excellent flower arrangement with a crocus flower, then it helps keep them calmer. And then, kids need that little table to be able to do their mental aspiration, but I put a smoke detector because I thought maybe it might need a smoke detector right where it was as opposed to upstairs. And then I decided to make that, they didn't need all those bookcases, so I took them away and only gave what was there. But I think we're getting to the end of the whole renovation, and as I said, I've been playing with the Goths, and they now have their little Bianca, who is a toddler, and Bella changed her career, so she is now actually in the fashion career. And there's some before and after pictures. There's what it looked like before the entranceway, and then how it looks afterwards. And they seem to be doing pretty well, and I'm gonna upload the version of the Goths that are living in this house, as well as obviously the house will be on the gallery too if you want to take a look and play with them. And so here, like I said, here we go with the living room. There's the dining room. That little statue is very expensive, and there's the after, and that's the bar that I added, which comes with Get Famous, and there's just from a different viewpoint the before and the after. And I did keep the curtains still the same, but they actually match better with what's there. There's the dark kitchen with the table, and there's the after. When I was playing with this, I took that decor item off the table, and I actually had the laptops there so that they were playing with them. There's little Bianca with Mortimer, and the popcorn in the popcorn maker, and there is Mortimer's bedroom, the before, now the after, with a couple of other shots from different angles of the room. And there's right when she aged up, actually, so her hair there is a little different than what it looks like. She has a little red ribbon in her hair. And so here's Cassandra's after. You saw the look before and a few other screenshots that you can see. Definitely brighter. They can be happier in this house, hopefully not so gloomy. Unfortunately, Cassandra's already gloomy because she was raised up to a teen in this house, but hopefully Alexander won't be so bad, and hopefully she'll brighten up and be happier. So there's the new the new landing on that floor, and there's a toddler bedroom. It doesn't looks now from when I played in it, and there is what was a bathroom with the door out onto the patio that became Alexander's bedroom, and I changed the shape of it a little bit so it doesn't look quite like it's the same room, but it is actually the same room. A few different angles. There's the shot where you can see that I put the Void Critter machine in there, and there was Alexander's bedroom. And there it is, the library/office. But that is going to be it for this. Do go vote because there's a voting challenge on. I'll have the link down below. And go check out, if you are watching this, Havana is, like I said, doing a tour of everybody's builds. And I'd love to hear what you think of this renovation and whether you think this would be one that you'd like to play in at all. But that is going to be it for this speed build makeover of the Goth house. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much!